What's going on YouTube? Ferocity here. Hope you guys are doing well. It's becoming increasingly clear that Activision is pulling out all the stops for their new release of Verdansk in Season 3 of Black Ops 6 and Warzone. They want you back into the game. They want you to reminisce and remember what Call of Duty used to be like back when you were consistently playing. You know, back when there was nothing else to do because there was some major health event going on in 2020. But that's beside the point. I think a lot of people can agree. When Verdansk and Warzone were initially released, the state of the franchise, the state of Warzone as a whole, was a lot better than it is today. They built that game off of quality. Now they're building their games off of greed. That's what Warzone has become. The only reason why they created Warzone 2 was so that they could sell you more skins, lock your past skins away, and sell you more of them. And that's exactly what they're going to do here. They're going to bring back as much content as they possibly can to hit those nostalgia strings so that you remember when the game was better, when they cared about quality, when they cared about player experience. I have my issues with Modern Warfare 2019 and Warzone, but I can at least admit that they seemed to care a little bit more back then about what you were playing, because they definitely don't now. And that's the problem here, is nothing's changing. They're just giving you nostalgia to try to entice you to come back and play. And I know it'll work in the short term. It'll have short-term results. And this is the problem with Call of Duty nowadays, is they think entirely in the short term. Nothing they do has any long-term effects. Some people will come back to Verdansk and they'll realize that, oh, the game still sucks. Verdansk isn't just going to immediately fix the problems the game has. It's not going to make the anti-cheat better. It's not going to make the servers better. It's not going to make matchmaking better. And then on top of it, you're going to add a bunch of weapons that were originally in Modern Warfare 2019. Maybe bring some skins back as well to make the game feel more like Modern Warfare 2019 all over again. For what purpose? It's not going to play the same. Why don't you lean a little bit harder into what you're doing now? Like, you're not removing all of the new movement that you've added to the game. It's not like Season 3 is going to eliminate Omni movement from Warzone. So now you're just adding Omni movement into Verdansk, which was not a map initially created for Omni movement. So it's not necessarily going to work. It might work, but it might not. And this is the problem. Whenever you're trying to pull at nostalgia strings, you've got to remember that things have changed. Mechanics of the game have changed. It might not necessarily work. But it's very clear that they're pushing all the chips in the middle. They're bringing back 150 players, which I think is the smart thing to do. That was one of the cool things with Warzone when it was initially released, was the high player counts that were available in Warzone, and the fact that like no Battle Royale was doing it at the time. And then they like reverted those changes for no reason. It was really weird. And the funny thing is what I really liked about the original Warzone was the fact that it leaned heavily into being a Battle Royale. You can't say the same about modern day Warzone. It's more like a big map TDM more so than anything else. And that's just kind of not as fun to play. So hopefully they change some mechanics around with redeploys so that, hey, it feels more like the original Verdansk. But if you think you're going to recapture all of that magic, I just think that that's a failed attempt at doing anything. It might work, like I said, in the short term. But what are you doing to long term to retain these players? Because once the initial glow wears off, which for some players could be 2 days, for others could be a couple weeks, for others could be a couple months. But what's the plan moving forward? Because now the rumor is that the Avalon map might just get scrapped altogether for 2025, and they'll push it to whatever they're doing next year. So if you don't have anything else new coming out, what are you doing to keep people interested into your franchise? It seems like a very bold strategy that could blow back in their face, and I wouldn't be surprised if it does. Like, I have my issues with some of the content creators and streamers around Call of Duty. I think a lot of them are sellouts, but you have other people saying that, hey, Verdansk isn't bringing me back. You have to make the game better. And when you have prominent streamers that would promote your game otherwise say that, that immediately tells me that this isn't going to work to the same level they expect it to. Now, casuals will come back, people that have been on the fringes and waiting for something other than Urzikstan or Area 99 will come back and play. And heck, I might even try it out myself, which is exactly what Activision wants. But what you don't want to see is high player turnover, which is exactly what I feel is going to happen. They saw the success of Fortnite Season 0 or whatever that was, like the Fortnite OG mode, and they thought, why don't we do this in Call of Duty? The difference is Fortnite OG just kind of brought people back for the right reasons. This is bringing people back for the wrong reasons. This is bringing people back because you're desperate to have them back, whereas Fortnite brought them back to celebrate how far Fortnite has gone. Now it's, we desperately need you, so please come back and stick around. It's not the right time to bring it back. You should be trying to build Warzone up, and then, as a celebration of how far Warzone has come since its lowest point, which was clearly the release of Warzone 2.0, we can celebrate it with Verdansk. We can celebrate it with the launch of the Blackout map. Really do something special for the community. But this is just going to be another map for Warzone for players to be unimpressed by it, because the experience itself has become stale. And that is because Call of Duty doesn't know what to do with their Battle Royale mode. I even argue they don't know what to do with multiplayer. So they just continue to feed people the same brain rot experience over and over and over again without trying to do anything special, without trying to do anything different. And that is not how you're going to be able to build a sustainable fan base. Yes, they have players playing their game and they have a high player base. But in my opinion, with the pull that Call of Duty has, with the lack of competition Call of Duty has, they should have a lot more players playing their game. It's that simple. And they should have a lot more high-profile streamers streaming their game because of how popular Call of Duty is. But nobody seems to care. You've just got a very casual player base right now, and I don't think that works for the long-term health of your game. Yes, it makes you money, but players are going to go to other games soon. GTA 6 should terrify Call of Duty. It should absolutely terrify Call of Duty, because finally there is something within the industry that is going to pull players away from you and be able to retain them. Because I don't think anybody in this community has any concern that Rockstar isn't going to deliver an absolute banger, especially with us having to wait over 10 years for a new GTA game. So in summary, I think Activision is clearly going all in on Verdansk. They're hoping that nostalgia is going to win the day, and they're really banking on the fact that this community is going to embrace Verdansk the same way they did back in 2020. I just don't think it's going to work. So let me know what you think down below. Obviously, there is a lot to this conversation, and we're about 20 days out from finding out what's going to happen. So keep it here if you're interested in it. I'd love to hear your thoughts down below in that comment section. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button. If you want to see more videos from me, please hit that subscribe button. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.